think language had a massive impact on my life because all of my life, I haven't been able to speak my father's native tongue, which is Spanish.
You know, I walk this line between identifying as a Peruvian American who has come to the States as a young child, trying to, assimilate and speak English, and trying to jump into, American culture on the East Coast in New York, where it's like a very fast-paced, and you're having to really immediately give answers and be on top of things.
My parents moved to England from Colombia, and when I was born, a year later, they couldn't speak English really. So at home, I grew up speaking Spanish. Spanish was the chronologically first language that I learned, even though English is now my first and the most kind of dominant language. I have always had that, as me, as who I am. I've always spoken Spanish. I still speak Spanish with my parents.
Cultural assimilation has specifically impacted my cultural identity because my father, after moving here when he was 14, the joke is in our family is that he couldn't pronounce certain words and he had to go to speech classes. And so he would say beach, but he'd say bitch, So there was always a thing that he always used to go back to that story of how he used to get made fun of, or it was his teachers would think he was cursing.
In kindergarten, for me was, it was definitely a challenging time because I came to the States and didn't really know how to speak English. I mean, I learned some English in preschool, but there's nothing like coming into New York City and everyone is just talking English, and you're this young child trying to make your way in the world. And
we could assimilate. I mean, there was there was still xenophobia for sure, but we always really, I guess, held on quite tight to our Colombianness, our Latinidad, really, at home. Yeah, it was all Colombian music, Colombian food, Colombian football, speaking in Spanish, traveling to Colombia a lot.